Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So last week we came to this is the second session of Yusuf alayhi salam, and the last week we came to ayah number 9. And at the end of ayah number 9, there's this very interesting part where Yusuf alayhi salam's brothers, they mention two reasons why they're going to try and kill him. One is that they want their father's face to be the only one that gives them the attention, and that is really the crux of all jealousy, which is they want attention, which I've mentioned last week. And the second one was that when a criminal commits a crime, to make it easy for him to commit the crime, he has to justify his actions. And to justify the actions, what people do is people religiously make things up. People religiously make things up. So it's okay for me to do that. Because of circumstances, because of this, because of that. And they might not have a single shred of evidence from the Quran or the Sunnah to do it, but they'll make it up. And there are people who've done that time and again. So for example, if we know the extent of, I'm just giving a random example, okay? We know that the extent of the hijab is that they should cover, their hair basically, all their hair. And with that, the Quran has said to drop it onto the bosom, so that means that has to be covered as well as part of the hijab. And you'll find that there are different types of women who will justify what the extent of the hijab is and why it's okay for them to wear that type of hijab. So there are certain women who wear the hijab and they'll have the bosom showing. There are some of them that have the hijab, full hijab, but their arms are showing. There are certain women that have the hijab but they'll have a loose one, so part of the hair will show. Some of them will have a very loose one, so it's not even covering the hair properly. You can see many parts of it. There's some that have a see-through hijab. Some that have it on the neck. Like, that's my that's okay. See, my culture says it's okay, right? It's all these things. Now, you might want to expand that on many different parts of the religion. And there's people who justify, like for example, a thief who wants to go to steal and is a Muslim, he'll justify it in his head. And I'm telling you this, criminals, whether he's a murderer, whether he's a thief, he will justify. So what would a thief do? A thief will think to himself, I just have to do this, I just have to do this. It's like, man, how can I live like this? How can I live like this? I ain't got enough. How can I live like this? No, it's not right. Why should he have more? It should have been distributed equally. He should have given me, that what he's got. Since he hasn't given me what he's got, I'm going to go and get it. I'm going to go get it. That's his theft. And he's justified in his head. And I tell you one thing, there are many thieves, when they come out at the night, out of their door to commit theft, they say Bismillah. I'm not joking. They say Bismillah. They take Allah's name. Why? Because they've already justified in their head. It's got to be okay. I'm going to give you another example. All these policemen that we know back, most of the countries that we attribute it to, a lot of them, not all the policemen, but a lot of them take bakshish, bribe, you call it halwa. They give so many names. Halwa, which is a sweet. They call it hadiyah. It's called a gift, right? And they've got so many different names for it, but at the end of the day, it's all bribe. Now, the majority of them in many of these countries are taking it, but they justify it. How do they justify it? They justify it because one of the most common thing is everyone's doing it, so it should be okay for me to do it. That's a justification of committing a crime that you're not allowed to do. Another one is that I've got to do it because if I don't do it, then I'm going to look silly. Or if I don't do it, then I'll be no one in this game. If I don't do it, then how am I gonna survive? Because everyone's doing it, everyone's in it. Justification. Or the most common one, which most of these criminals make, is the one the Quran has said. وَتَكُونُوا مِن بَعْدِهِ قَوْمًا صَالِحِينَ. that straight after this crime, you're going to do tawbah. That's the most common one. Let me just do it. Let me just do it. Let me just do it. Drugs, watching something with their eyes they're not supposed to watch, whatever it is. Let me just get over it. That's it. Let me just get it over and done with. Once they've gone over the period, they've already said before they go into the sin, they're going to do tawbah. I will make a proper tawbah. Don't worry, I'll make, didn't Allah say that if you make tawbah, Allah forgives your sin? So surely if I commit the sin and then I do tawbah, Allah's going to forgive my sin? Yeah, so they've already justified it before they commit the crime. And that's what the Quran is saying. Yeah, in Surah Yusuf, ayah number 9, that وَتَكُونُوا مِن بَعْدِهِ قَوْمًا صَالِحِينَ. After that, you're going to do tawbah and you will become, what the Quran has actually said, is you will become a group of people that are righteous. That means, you know what? We're going to do such a good tawbah that never again in our lives will we need to commit another crime. We'll become angels, basically. Yeah, we won't need to commit any more crimes after this. And the shaitan makes them justify this. Now, what prompted them to do this is a big question. According to some tafsirs, like I said last week, Yusuf alayhi salam was the one who told them about the dream. The dream created jealousy, and then after that, they said what they said. Another one is that Yusuf alayhi salam, this is another tafsir, genuine tafsir, is that Yusuf alayhi salam did not disobey his father. When his father said, don't tell your brothers about the dream, he didn't tell them about the dream. However, now this gets interesting. How did the brothers know? If he didn't tell the brothers, how did the brothers know? Well, you don't have to tell the brothers for the brothers to know something. You don't have to tell someone for them to know something. You don't have to tell your neighbors directly for them to know something. You just have to tell one person who loves gossiping. Or the best part is, when someone comes to you and says, I'm not supposed to say this to you, but I'm not supposed to say this to you, but this is what happened. Don't tell anyone else. Oh my God. So the worst people, I tell you. If you've got a friend like that comes to you and says, I'm not supposed to have said this to you, and then he tells you something, don't you ever trust that guy. Because why? Because your secrets that you're telling him not to tell anybody else, he's going to go and say. Judge people for how they are with you. And this is a really good, the really good measurement tool. Is that if somebody comes to you and starts gossiping bad about others, you know what? I don't like to keep them as friends. I'm telling you this personally. When I see people come to me and they want to straight away talk bad about somebody else and they want to join my circle of friends and they want to talk about someone else, I will I'll tell them straight away, look, it's not nice for us to speak like this. That's fine. But you know what I've registered in my head? I didn't like that. And the way the person has just spoken to me about others, and basically we're not talking about him coming to me as an imam and saying, Imam, I'm in a bit of a pickle, I want you to give me some advice. It's not like that. He's just coming to me and he's like getting chummy and he said, you know what, I heard this about this so and so. He's just getting chummy. It's just called, sweet, backbiting. And that kind of thing, is not obviously halal. So what I do is I register it and I think, you know what, I don't want to have this person as part of my close friends or my friends. Because if he can do that about so and so, he's going to do that about me. That's the thing. If somebody comes to you and tells you a lie about somebody else, that they got away with a lie, then guaranteed that person can do the same thing with you. You just wait, just for a few years, and you'll see that. And this is a good benchmark to talk, to measure people. So what happens here is that Yusuf alayhi salam said it to someone in the family, and that person, was mashallah, and it could be a really nice person, whoever he was, and they basically said it to someone else. And eventually, it got to the brother's ears. Okay, so that's another tafsir. Another tafsir is that Yaqub alayhi salatu salam, he didn't give Yusuf alayhi salam the entire interpretation of the dream. And I'm going to go into this now about a person when you go to them for interpretation of a dream, how much they should tell you, not tell you. But Yaqub alayhi salam gave Yusuf alayhi salam many good news, or pieces of good news, that he would already know that he's a chosen one. So in ayah number 6, when he said, وَكَذَلِكَ يَجْتَبِيكَ رَبُّكَ, O Yusuf, Allah will choose you. Your Lord is going to choose you. What this means is that your Lord is going to make you a prophet. Now, how did he know that? Well, as I said to you earlier, that people who know the interpretation of dreams can read a lot into dreams. Okay? It's not a common thing. See, normal people, they will not be able to see the moon bowing down to them. Even if a person sees the moon following them, even a person sees in a dream the moon following them, that means this is a saint of Allah Azza wa Jal. Or this is a person who's going to be very close to Allah Azza wa Jal. That's the moon, because there in Alam al-Ru'ya, in the world of the science of dreams, there are things there that represent this world. And one of the things that the moon represents is great dignity that Allah Azza wa Jal has kept for the person who has seen it. But to see the actual sun or the moon bowing down to them is something totally different. It goes to another level, and it will actually make a person, it will give them the status that they will be a prophet. And he knew this, and he knew that. Another thing is that prophets, when they have dreams, it's going to be absolutely true. And the other thing that he said is that he knew from the dream that Yusuf a.s. would know the interpretation of dreams. Now what that means is, subhanallah, it means that Ibrahim a.s. knew the interpretation of dreams. And this thing, Ishaq a.s. and Yaqub a.s. and now one of these 12 sons is going to be blessed with the legacy of Ibrahim a.s. and the prophethood, and the seed will carry on. Which son is it going to be? It's going to be this son. Now it's revealed through this. When he said your Lord is going to choose you, it means that Allah is going to make you a prophet. And it also means that you're going to be the best out of all the children, the most prominent out of them, and you will have this science and this knowledge that will carry on. And it also means another thing, which is for those 11 stars to bow down to him, for the sun and moon to bow down to him, it shows that Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam has to go through trials, because a people don't come back to you seriously seeking your forgiveness. Because one of the things about the 11 stars bowing down to him is that Yusuf alayhi salam is getting, he's able to see his superiority over his brothers. Okay? In the future, he's going to see a great superiority over them. And one of the other things it reveals is that Yaqub alayhi salam, when he's the son in the dream, as in the sun, that sun in the dream. So when he bows down, it shows that Yusuf alayhi salam is going to get such a maqam and a station in front of Allah Azza wa Jal that he will surpass his father. He will surpass his father. And you will see the qualities that Allah Azza wa Jal has given Yusuf alayhi salam, he never gave Yaqub alayhi salam. Right? And just on the names now, I just want to tell you that if you know a few Yaqubs, remember I told you about, if you know a few Ismails, if you know a few Ishaqs, if you know a few Ibrahims, you'll see this common denominator between them, where there's going to be, through this story, you'll see the character of Yaqub alayhi salam being revealed, and Yusuf alayhi salam being revealed. And wherever you've got a character of Yaqub and you've got a character of Yusuf, the Yusuf is always more dominant than the Yaqub. I want you to think of a Yaqub that you know, and I want you to think of a Yusuf that you know. Put your hands up if you know a Yaqub in your life, someone called Yaqub and someone called Yusuf. Put your hands up if you've got two individuals like that you know. Ooh, not many people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's see, 6th hand or something. Now tell me, all those people, if you agree that the Yusuf that you know has got a stronger character than the Yaqub that you know, put your hands up. And if you think it's the other way, Yaqub is stronger than the Yusuf, put your hands up. Okay, good. What Yaqub alayhi salam, what he'll have a stronger personality in some ways, but the Yusuf will be smarter in certain ways. who was smart in certain ways. And the other thing that you'll see is, I'm not saying Yaqub is a soft character, he's got no strength. He's got great strength. One of the greatest strengths of Yaqub is the inner strength, right? But I'll tell you another thing here. Those of you who know a Yusuf, put your hands up. Go on, just put your hands up. Salah, Yusuf is a common name, yeah? And now you lot put your hands up if you think that Yusuf you know is a handsome individual, put your hands up. He's a beautiful, handsome individual, put your hands up. Okay, that's quite a lot of you out of the ones that you put your hands up. I wouldn't say it's all of you, but it's almost all of you put your hands up. And that's one of the characteristics that Allah Azza wa Jal gives these people, is that you will have certain trends and traits of those people that carried that name. So what happens here is, and we'll see their characters develop, and I'll make comments about their characters and whoever's name is Yaqub and whoever's name is Yusuf. But one of the things here is that the son surpasses the father, and the father is very happy about this, that this is going to happen, because he wants this whole thing of Ibrahim alayhi salam's seed to go forward and to become better in each of the sons that come out of the progeny. So all these reasons, or one of these ways that the brothers found out about Yusuf alayhi salam being better than them, causes them to have the jealousy. And there's one final one, which is, there's some tafsir that say that it was nothing to do with the dream. It was nothing to do with them knowing the dream. It was simply to do with the love they saw of their father to those two children over them. And that's what caused the jealousy. And from there it all started. Now, there's another one thing, which is at the end of ayah number 8, they say, Inna abana lafi dhalalin mubin. Our father, he's on a clear error, or our father is emotionally, gone astray. Now, why did they say this? This shows that when people cannot make, they can't get their way, they'll make something up. They'll make an excuse. When they want their way, they're going to make an excuse. Doesn't matter which way it's going to happen, all right? Or it's already happened. And basically, they want to justify what happened, and they will make an excuse. So basically, I'll just give you a story, yeah? This is just one of those fairy tale stories, but just for us to think about this. There was a wolf, they say, on a hilltop, and there's a lamb right at the bottom of the hilltop, of the hill. And from the top, the wolf sees this lamb, and he says, that's it. That's my lunch. That's my lunch. So he's already made his mind up that this is going to be his lunch. There's a stream that's flowing all the way down, and the lamb is drinking some water. So the wolf comes all the way down, and he sees the lamb. He says, "Hey, you!" The lamb looks up there. "Hey, you! You're the one that called me so many names." He says, "I don't call anyone any names." Yeah. He said, "Well, if you didn't call me any names, yeah, you're the one last year, you was the one that caused me some harm." He said, "I was only born 6 months ago. I wasn't even around last year." He said, "Doesn't matter, you must be the one that is creating some hurt to me in some way, some insult to me in some way, and therefore you're going to be finished right now." And the lamb, before he gets eaten, says, "Well, one who's an oppressor and is going to do his crime, he's going to find any excuse to justify his crime." Right? So these sons, they've got this jealousy. Instead of seeing their own jealousy, they blame their father for showing his extreme love towards the children. And that's what people do. Instead of focusing on oneself, see, one of the most difficult things to focus on is your own problems. And this surah reveals so much about the human psyche. See, what the brothers are not doing here is they're not addressing their own problem. They're turning it around to others. And this is a serious human problem. Most human beings can't see their own problem. Today, we've got a real situation in the world where, for example, there might be certain governments are saying, "Hey, we're going to smoke you out your holes," yeah? And those same governments can't see their own problems. And the ones who are, on the other side, they can't see their problems. Some of the Muslims out there, some of the others out there, they can't see their own problems. And what happens in the end is that people justify their act because of the other. one of the biggest losers game, I tell you right now, is, if something goes wrong, you carry on blaming an enemy out there. That's a loser's game. And second is, you blame it on someone that either is close to you and loves you dearly, or you blame it on someone who you don't even know whether they are around or they exist, but it's someone out there that's doing it, right? So for example, when you blame it on someone else, what you're doing ultimately is that you're just taking it away from yourself. It's never your fault. It can't be your fault. You justify it. And this is what the children are doing here. They're saying, no, it's dad's fault. Dad's fault. He's the one that he's got his love so much for the son. He's making us do this almost. I mean, it's not us. It's him. His love is getting in the way. The second thing is, who they're blaming? They're blaming the father. The father is so close to them. The father loves them. The father feeds them. The father gives them so much. And they're taking this all out on their father. Like, he's the problem. He's the cause. When it's not even the father. And I want to say this to you guys, that many fathers come to an age where their kids are teenagers and they have to go through this. Many mothers have to go through this. Where the mother and the father have got the ultimate love for the child, but the child is rebelling. And the child is trying to blame their parents for something that wasn't even their fault. But they just switch it onto them, say, well, it must have been their fault. It was their fault. It is their fault. It could be nothing but their fault. And how do they justify it? Well, the Quran tells us it's getting together as a group. And one says one, another says yes, yeah. Peer pressure. This is what happened between the brothers of Yusuf. When they said, uqtulu Yusuf, kill him. Because it was peer pressure. And why did Allah say uqtulu Yusuf first in ayah number 9? And later on he says, there's one of the brothers who says, don't kill him. Allah says, قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِّنْهُمْ, one of them who spoke said, لَا تَقْتُلُوا Yusuf, don't kill Yusuf. But this is in ayah number 10. But in ayah number 9, Allah says, uqtulu Yusuf. He didn't even say, قالوا اقتلوا. They said اقتلوا Yusuf, because what happened is it was quite a few of them saying that. And it's not because they all said it once. This is the thing. One of them would say something, another one would say something, another one would say something, and one of them somewhere would say kill him, another one agrees, yes, kill him. I would say yeah, let's kill him. This is how a conversation starts. This is how it gets to the murder, the conspiracy for murder. Because they are in a group and one's affecting the other and the moods are boiling. And when moods boil, then it moves from one to another and the anger gets more heated and then they think, okay, that's it. We're going to justify to kill him, right? And I said to you just a little earlier ago, sometimes you blame someone who you don't even know for your problems. Like, some people in this day and age, I'm just going to say this, some people in this day and age, all the Muslims' problem, everything, whatever is happening to Muslims all across the world, everything is happening because of the Illuminati. Oh my God. So where are they? Come on, man. All your problems are blamed on them. So you did nothing wrong here. It was just them that came on you and just caused this. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Anyway, let's move on. So what happens is that there's a group of them and there's peer pressure that starts, and then Allah says, قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِّنْهُمْ. Now this is interesting. Why did Allah say one of them said, don't kill him? Because Allah wants to reveal to us that, when there's a bunch of criminals and they make a crime, they are not all equal. Just because 9 people or 10 people got together and they all consulted and the opinion was given to murder someone, it doesn't mean that they're all equal. Some of them would not have definitely gone by that. So what I want to say by this is, these governments and other organizations that make judgments and they make decisions, not all of them are equal. Please remember that. There are good people amongst them. And they say that this brother thought that, this has gone too far. And he showed justification of why they should not kill him. He said, La taqtulu Yusuf. Don't kill him. Why not? You're going to kill, murder a person Because you lot are feeling, or we're feeling that our father, his love is more for him than us. Are we just going to kill him? He said, now you can't just stop there and say, just don't kill him. See, this is the other beautiful thing about the Quran. Whenever you want to stop someone from doing something, there's sometimes you can go for the lesser of the two evils. They're going to come and they're going to do some harm anyway. Now all you're doing is you're diverting them to a lesser harm. Alright? So this is exactly what happened when Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu was coming to kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is that when he was coming to kill him, there's a Muslim on the way. He saw Umar, and Umar radiallahu anhu's eyes were red, and he had his sword in his hand, and he was pouncing ahead, and he was on a mission. He's going to do a job. And he said, he looked at me and thought, yeah, this guy is going to do some chop chewy today, chop chewy. He's going to kill someone. So he stopped him. He said, Umar, where are you going? Now Umar didn't know he was a Muslim. He said, Umar, where are you going? He said, me? Straight. You know that man who said that all these gods are false? And he says only Allah exists? I'm going to go and kill him. So now this Muslim thought, Ya Allah, I need to buy time to go and warn the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So to buy the time, what did he say? Umar, really? You're going to go kill this man Muhammad? When your own sister has embraced Islam and you don't do anything about it? My God. What, I'm going to kill the man, and then people are going to say my sister was the one who, embraced Islam. Why didn't I sort my family members out first? Yeah, your family member, your sister, she embraced Islam, and you don't know about it. Now, this was a secret. Why did this Muslim open that secret? Because he needed to buy time. If he didn't do this right now, Umar could go straight ahead and kill the Prophet ﷺ. He needed to warn the Prophet ﷺ. So Umar thought, really? Okay, I'm going to my sister's house first. I'll deal with her first, and then I'll deal with this guy called Muhammad. He thought, job done. So when he went to his sister, now look, when he goes to his sister, of course, he's going to go to his sister's husband, who's also converted, and he's told him about it. He's going to beat the daylight out of them. And he knows that. But he'd rather go over there, cause some damage, than to come and cause damage to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he quickly went and warned the Prophet, oh Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I saw Umar on the way to kill you, and I diverted him down there. He's coming, Ya Rasulullah. He's coming to kill you. Right? Now, what I want to say about this is that this is in some ways showing us that when there's a group of people, sometimes one of them could divert their whole attention towards something smaller. So what he said is that, look, guys, you don't need to kill him. Why are you trying to kill him? The reason why you guys are trying to kill him is because you're trying to remove him from dad's life. There are other ways of removing him from dad's life. You don't have to kill him. You can throw him away. وَأَلْقُوهُ فِي غَيَابَةِ الْجُبِّ. What we'll do is, Yusuf's a little kid. He'll fit into one of those buckets that, you draw water from the well. We'll stick him inside the bucket. Let the whole thing drop. The rope will go all the way down to the bottom. And guys, it's not like we want to kill him, because that's another way of killing the poor boy. He could die in that well. No. We know there's water down the well. So when we drop him down, we'll come back. And of course, as always, this is a main road. So caravans are going by, and one of the caravans are going to come by. يَلْتَقِطُ بَعْضُ السَّيَّارَةِ. One caravan of people who are going across will definitely stop there for some water. And when they lift it up, they're going to see Yusuf. And they're going to take that kid away from this town. And they're going to take him away, and we never see him again. In kuntum fa'ilin, if you want to do something, you better just do this. Now, why did he add these words, in kuntum fa'ilin? In kuntum fa'ilin. One reason is, in kuntum fa'ilin, as in, if you're going to do anything, you better just do this, otherwise I'm not with you. Now, they say that this was the eldest out of all the brothers. Now, if the eldest out of the brothers is not with them, the rest of them are probably not going to do it. Because, oh my God, we haven't got the backing of our older brother. If our older brother doesn't back us up, then maybe, he might grass us up to our father, and the father is going to find out what we did. So we need all 10 brothers to be on this whole thing. All right? So in kuntu fa'ilin, if you're going to do what you're going to do is, it means that if you're going to do what you're going to do, like as in get rid of Yusuf, you better go with this plan, otherwise I'm not going with any other plan. And in kuntum fa'il, another way of looking at it is that if you guys are really serious of doing something, you better just do this, because I know you're not going to kill him. Sometimes people get really mad and say, that's it, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to bust his nose and I'm going to break his back and I'm going to... And the truth of it is, he's not going to do that. Truth of it is, he'll probably beat him up, but he's not going to break his back and bust his nose or whatever. So, in kuntu fa'ilin means that you can't be serious, guys. Not all of you are going to do this, all right? Maybe some of you will go so mad to do this, but what are you guys saying? Do you realize what you're saying? If you're really going to do something, as in if you're really able to practically carry something out, then perhaps this is the best you guys can do, all right?